Some big news regarding that out of the NFL, and it involves a fundamental change in the postseason. Now, if you didn't hear about this, and maybe you have a life and you don't pay attention to all this kind of stuff, and you might have missed it. So we've learned that the NFL has cut a deal. We got a deal with NBC, and they will put one of their playoff games, as our former FSR colleague Jim Morris said back in the day, one of their playoff games exclusively on a streaming service for the first time in the history of the streaming endeavors, which have been around for a few years now and have gotten more and more popular. They started out as a way to save money. Now it is a way to spend more money. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Now the league announcing with much fanfare that the agreement is with NBC Universal to broadcast a wild card playoff game on a Saturday night wild card weekend on the Peacock. It's going to be on the Peacock. That's where you're going to watch the game now. It's January 13th, so plan ahead. Plan accordingly. Early in 2024, January 13th, Saturday night game. It will be broadcast in the local markets of the NBC affiliates there in the local markets for the teams. We don't know who's going to be in the playoffs unless you've seen the script. I haven't seen the script. And so outside of that, it will be only available on the Peacock streaming service. So let us discuss the question. What are your initial thoughts on the NFL getting together on a streaming deal for a playoff game? It's one thing to put a game on a Thursday night on Amazon, but this is a whole different situation. So I've got the trash man, drug lord, and jalapeno poppers. And we will combine all of these random things together, and we are going to make a nice hole in your wallet. A nice hole in your wallet. That is what we're going to make. So this is a big tell. We often like to talk about on this show the fact that you hear different rumors and stuff, but when you can get verified information, actions tell you things. And the action from the NFL tells us that Roger Goodell and his underlings, where they're at right now. The NFL, they've already dipped their toes in streaming. So it's not like, well, this is a big deal. They've already been on Amazon. There's other games that have been on different websites and whatnot. But Amazon was a whole new world. People still complaining about that. The regular season, though, is one thing. But to go and cross the Rubicon, which is what the NFL has now agreed to do, and a whole new frontier, not the final frontier, the final frontier, and it'll likely happen in our lifetime, a Super Bowl on a streaming service. So, that'll never happen. No. This is the next logical step. It's like the boiling frog. You start out with the regular season, you start out with the Thursday night games, then you move to a playoff game. Eventually, you keep upping the ante, and you don't even realize what happened. I mean, that's the natural transition of the way broadcast media is going. It's like we do radio, but we have a lot of people that listen to this show on the iHeartRadio app or different streaming services that are available, or to the podcast. When I started in radio, the only way to hear a radio show was the radio. That was it. Now, we still prefer that you listen to the radio, but there's a million different ways, and so the technology has changed over the years. And so we're heading down that path at a breakneck speed because that's where the money is. You always go where the money is. And the thing that I'm bothered by this is it's another sucker punch to the solar plexus of the older NFL fan, the unconventional, the fan that does not know the thingamajig and all that, does not understand the gadgets and the gizmos and all that. And so you don't normally get an NFL TV deal announced in mid-May. And my friends who work in that world, who are in the sports business world, were like freaking out. They were like, oh, this is amazing. I can't believe it. Oh, my God. It's like the biggest thing in the world. But to do this the way it was done, it is, to the older NFL fan, it's like an old 1960s band, the Trashmen. The bird is the word. That's their lyrics. The bird is the word, because this is the NFL giving the older fan the bird. Is what it is. You're not tech savvy? Screw you. Who cares about you? Yeah, you're on a fixed income. Sorry, sucker. We don't care about you. You're out of luck. You're out of luck. That's what the NFL is doing. That's what the actions tell us. It's the middle finger. The NFL is giving the middle finger to a certain percentage of their fans. Get out of here, boomer. We don't care about you. That's pretty much what they're saying. You geezer. All right, now, page 2 here. How does this Peacock move for a playoff game take us behind the NFL curtain? So there's a lot of moving parts to this, but the way I see it, it reveals the price tag. Not only is the NFL giving the older fan the bird, but it also gives us perspective on where the market is for a playoff game. And we now know. It's like the quote, which was attributed to the Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar, that everyone has a price. Everyone's got a price, and it's important to find out what it is. And so now we know what the price is for an NFL playoff game. And in the middle of an economic downturn, I've got a lot of people in my life that have lost their job. I don't know about you. People that work in media and outside media that have lost their job, that are in my little circle. And I assume that a lot of people, maybe even you, are like that. So people are losing their jobs. But in the NFL, they went to the ATM machine in the middle of all this, and they said, I would like some petty cash. I would like a nice wad of petty cash. Now, as a result, the NFL has put their cards on the table. All right, they put their cards on the table. And you can go out, if you want, you can get a Venn diagram if you want and draw it all up, get the Venn diagram and do the math. But the black sheep of Wild Card Weekend, the least attractive NFL Wild Card playoff game, has a price tag of $110 million. That is the price tag. It's not my opinion. It's not speculation. That is what NBC is supposedly paying, according to the Wall Street Journal, for one playoff game. One playoff game. Hey, keep on, you're not getting the Dallas Cowboys. You're not getting the Pittsburgh Steelers if they make the playoffs. You're getting whoever the ugly duckling is of Wild Card Weekend. And this is also going to be fun. When the schedule came out this week, we pointed out the teams. There are 4 teams that are the losers, that wear the dunce cap in the NFL. And it's like the Cardinals, the Falcons, the Texans. There's one other team as well. But they're the teams that do not have a nationally televised game. That's the NFL saying these teams blow and they suck so much, we want nothing to do with them and our national TV partner, our showcase game, our jewel games. And so that's what this wild card weekend is going to be. Somebody's going to make the playoffs, likely with a losing record. They might even get a home game. We've seen that. We just saw that with Jacksonville, where they were mediocre, got a home playoff game. And so you just move forward and you do your thing. Knock yourself out. And there are 6 games. Now, I did some back-of-the-napkin Maller math here because I have nothing but time. I'm a loser. So I did the back-of-the-napkin Maller math on the value of the NFL playoffs based on the latest reporting. So I'm going to walk you through my math, and then you can give me a report on how I did because, as you know, I was very good at math. That's why I went to radio. So $110 million is the starting price point for one wild card weekend game. Now, there are 6 wild card weekend playoff games. So that means at $110 million, that's $660 million. Okay? So $660. So I took the liberty and I said that the divisional round is worth double. So if a wild card game is worth $110 million, a divisional round game is worth $220 million. So I doubled the value on that because there's fewer games. So that works out for that round to $880 million. But wait, there's more. Now, championship weekend, I added another $110 million. I might have gone low on that. So now we're at $330 million per game on championship weekend. So that gets us up to $660 for that weekend. So if you add the $660 plus the $880 plus the $660 in millions, that works out to $2.2 billion. And we don't even have the Super Bowl, which is a different standalone item all by itself. So just the NFL Plus. What the NFL has told us with the deal with NBC, that the playoffs by themselves, without the regular season, which you have to get to the playoffs, $2.2 billion, not including the Super Bowl. All right, last word here. So what does NBC Universal get out of the deal to cut a check while they're laying off people, all these media companies, and to cut a check for $110 million? Well, outside of the cachet of saying, we were the first streaming service to broadcast a playoff game. Outside of that, which is, people like that. People in media like to brag about that at cocktail parties. But outside of that, they're buying eyeballs. They're buying eyeballs. And the way I look at this, it's like a sample table at Costco. You go to Costco and you try the jalapeno poppers. Now, you might not like the jalapeno poppers. And if you don't like the jalapeno poppers, you're not going to buy the jalapeno poppers. But research has shown, and the reason I was trying to figure this out, why would they give away free items at Costco? I read a study on this a couple of years ago. They said that the estimate, 70% of people that buy a sample will buy the product. Now, I don't think that's right, but that's what they're throwing out there. That's what the studies show, that 70% of people will try the jalapeno popper and love it and want to buy a box of it and have a 3-month supply at their house from Costco. That's what they would like. They would love to have that. And so the Peacock is looking at this $110 million, but it's important to note that is, while it's an initiation fee for the NFL, it's an indoctrination of the customers, they're not doing it and giving it for free. You see, this is pay-per-view. This is an NFL playoff game pay-per-view. And it's not a lot of money. It's money, though. It's money that you didn't have to spend before that you now have to spend if you want to watch this game, unless you're in one of the cities of the teams that are playing in it. The NFL, according to the report, the NFL is okay with NBC charging the rate, which is $4.99 a month or $50 a year. You have to pay for Peacock Premium, which is a special kind of Peacock. You have to pay. It's more colorful, and so you have to pay that. So if you want to watch the playoff game, $5 minimum. Some people will pay $50. And the argument for NBC is that a certain percentage of people who have no interest in watching anything on the Peacock will be lazy. The key is to get people to pay a monthly subscription at a nominal rate, because a lot of people don't actually go through their finances that closely, and they don't realize they're throwing money out the window and things like that. So once you sign up, you can cancel anytime, but they know a certain percentage of people will forget about it, and they'll get $5 a month, $5 a month, $5 a month, over and over and over again. Now, the other question, real quick, is the NFL spreading itself too thin? Is the peanut butter going too thin on the toast? And I am nodding my head yes on this. Now, the NFL seems like they're invincible, and maybe they are, but you now have a scavenger hunt to watch an NFL game. For so long, it was only on a couple of networks, but now with this Peacock deal, NFL products, NFL games will be broadcast on not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 10 different broadcast outlets will have NFL games. So the traditional CBS, Fox, NBC, you've got ABC, ESPN, Amazon, NFL Network, ESPN Plus, the Peacock. You've also got YouTube TV. All of them are broadcasting various NFL games. So you pretty much need a GPS. Okay, you need a GPS to find which channel your game is on in select situation.